Okay. So then I need. I want to. Okay, I need to turn on music. That's what's next. Turn on music. Go back. Go back to studio. I can't tell if you're successfully live streaming. Right now, playlists, the waiting room. Waiting room for the money. 2 for the show. 3 to get ready now. Go, cat, go. Where's the waiting room? Audiobook chapters, lo-fi, Silvercrest Guild Call of the Wild Twin. There it is. Okay. Oh, right. I can't play it on this one. I have to move it to the other window. Okay, so then we open this one. No, not even that one. We have to open this one. We have to go in here. Boop. Play all. Shuffle. All right. Okay. There we go. Let me just turn it down on my headphones though. Okay, so now I need to figure out why I can't see the stream. Oh, good. Okay, so it is running. I just can't see anything. So we're going to go to it. That should pop up everything. Awesome. That's what I need. Perfect. Yay! All right. Now I just need to know. And make sure sound is good. Can you hear me and music? I'm only a little behind tonight, right? Just a few seconds. Okay, I need you to check the live stream, make sure the sound's all good for me. Woohoo! And no, what did you think I wanted you to do, Google? I mean, come on. That one there. That one there. There we go. There we go. Can't hear any music. Okay. Is that because it's too quiet? Let me try turning it up. You can hear it now. Drop it by like a third. Okay, 1 second. There's OBS. So, right about there, then. How's that? Is that good? Up a bit. Okay, 1 second. Why? Yeah, that's fine because... Oh, no, that wasn't fine, was it? Oh, wait, you said up a bit. There we go. You... But I don't want you always on top. I need to be able to see my other windows. Okay. How is that? Is that better? I can't hear you at all. Now that might be because I've had to turn the music down.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Be louder.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Okay. Are you advertising the website on this? Because
Uh-huh.
Okay, alright.
I know what I did. I don't know if I can slow it down 1 minute. Slideshow. Time between slides is 2000 milliseconds. There. All right, now how do I... Okay, how is the music now?
Now that we've switched to a much quieter song, it's actually way too quiet.
Okay.
And that's what I was worried about.
Then Burn the Witch probably needs to come off the list.
Yeah. We'll have to go through and remove some of them as we go, because I realize that it's like, oh shit, we're going to be bouncing around between them because there's no way to equalize.
Ah, that's not what I wanted. Okay, anyway, well, it's time to start because it's 3 minutes after. Is the music good right now the way I have it? What?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What's playing?
I said, is the music good the way it is right now?
I can't hear it. What's playing?
Rosa.
I can't make out what she's saying. I can hear the music a little.
Okay. I mean, people don't need to hear necessarily what she's saying. I'm going to be talking, so. It's just to have background music. There we go. Like, I don't want to have to compete with the music. Okay, I need you to turn yourself up a little bit. Where am I looking? I'm here. This is where I want to be. Right here. Okay. It's 5 minutes after 7. And, so, hey, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to our next live stream. I think this is number 4. I was counting them up this week, and I think it's 4. So yeah, I was actually thinking this week I should start calling these the Studio Myth and Ink live streams, because as I'm getting the websites all organized, YouTube is our Studio Myth and Ink kind of hub, I guess, for lack of a better word. And the new websites are slowly but surely getting wrapped up. Finally, this has been, oh my gosh, a huge undertaking. It is literally taking me weeks and weeks and weeks to get it finished, but we're getting there. And just to kind of tease it and be exciting, I've included some screenshots in the slideshow of what it's starting to look like and what you kind of content you can expect to be seeing on those. I'm really excited. We've been working really, really hard on all of it. Craig's actually had to take time away from writing books to work on giving me content for the websites. You would think after 16 years, I wouldn't really need him to tell me what's there, but there's a lot of things that he's created that are background information for him, and a lot of things I've created that are background information for me, and you just kind of inherently know those pieces of it as they pertain to what you care about, but you don't really know it if you're the other person. It's been kind of fun. He actually called me a menace today because I pointed something out to him that he hadn't thought about yet with one of the books, which was kind of hilarious because, like I said to him, how did you not think about this? How did you not think about this? This is like fundamental character development for these characters, and it just like snuck right past you. But to be fair, I also hadn't thought about it until like a week ago. So there you go. Anyway, I'm hoping to launch the new Studio Myth and Ink website. There's a couple of slides. No, I'm talking about the relationship that existed as far back as the books, but that only, like, I literally explained this to you earlier, that Jack would have known irregardless because of Leonard. Like, this is the whole thing. Yeah, the part where I was a menace. Not the rest of it. Relationship that didn't exist. It's been longer than 2 weeks. Thank you very much. Anyway, so there, that right there on the screen, that is, or at least on my screen. I don't know if it's on your guys' screen, but this new thing where it says Ash and Ember, that is the new top side of ESCH-Art Studios, which is where all of our TOS artists are contracted under, I guess, for lack of a better word. And then we have College of the Rose, which is where Broken Bard Co. comes from. That one should pop up in a few minutes. That's one of the images from the shop. Hopefully you guys are seeing these things at the same time I am, because otherwise I'm going to sound like I'm a complete Looney Tune. Anyway, I'm not brave enough yet to try opening OBS while I'm doing a stream to try and like show you guys specific pictures. I can see that being an absolute, complete, and utter disaster. And I'd like to like get through, you know, like 3 or 4 live streams before I try to add on new technological differences. Anyway, so hoping to launch the new Studio Myth and Ink website and the new Silvercrest Champions Guild website by the end of the weekend. It's a little bit of an ambitious goal because most of my day got sucked away with real life today. Much to my dismay. Weekends are like, go to the grocery store, do meal prepping, work on everything. It's like the only 2 days where I have no kids most of the day, so I can actually focus on other stuff, and that means I have to focus on everything all at once. Anyway, if I get really, really lucky and I can power through some stuff when we're done tonight, and I can power through stuff tomorrow, I might even be able to launch a little bit more with the marketplace, which would be so, I'm so excited to share the marketplace with you guys. I've teased it a little bit in this, and yeah, that's been just so much fun to build the stories around our products in there. Anyway, how is everybody doing tonight? We're here in the Midwest, and the weather is just starting to shift. We're definitely in fall. I think I told Craig about 3 weeks ago, I expect that we're going to have snow by Halloween, and I'm actually starting to wonder if it's going to be sooner than Halloween, which, actually, I have a really funny story about Halloween. So, when we had our daughter, who is 2, she's born in the spring, and So Halloween, of course, rolled around, and I was so excited. I decided what we were, the three of us, were going to be for Halloween really early in the year because I had to make everybody's costumes myself. And so I got started, and I got hers all finished. It was so cute and adorable, and it was based off of a D&D campaign that Craig and I watched on YouTube. Not Critical Role, just putting that out there. Not that I don't think Critical Role's great, I do, but not Critical Role. And she had this adorable outfit, and then I was going to be a different character, and Craig was going to be another character, and then we found out I was pregnant again. And then, you know what happens when you get pregnant, so suddenly I couldn't fit in my costume that I had made, and I didn't ever have time to go and get Craig his costume because I'd have had to collect pieces from the Goodwill. And then the week before Halloween, it started to get really, really cold. And I suddenly went, oh no, what if it ends up being so cold that she can't wear her costume? I better come up with an alternative. So I ran over to Walmart and picked up just a pair of like toddler wings, right? Lo and behold, the morning our downtown was doing their big, everybody goes into all the stores to go trick-or-treating with their kids, flurries. Like, we walked into a restaurant to have breakfast while we waited for everything to start up, and there's literally like little swirls of snow moving along in the wind on the concrete. And we went, oh, thank goodness I thought about getting her little snowsuit and the wings, because she spent the entire day, she's about 9 months old, maybe 10 months by then. She was in her little snowsuit. It was pink with little polka dots on it, and these little wings that she had, and her little hood over her little baby head. She was so precious. And about halfway through, she fell asleep while I was carrying her. She was adorable. Also, she probably could fit her cosplay outfit now, and in all of the moving and our living situation, I don't even know where it is. So this year, she and her brother are going to be Kiki and Tombo, because Gordon loves Tombo, and our daughter loves Kiki. And that's cheap and simple and easy, and when your kids are 1 and 2, that's what you do, is cheap and easy. Anyway, so yeah, I'm thinking that's what we're going to be up against again this year. And I guess Kiki and Tombo gives us the ability also to like throw them into a big coat when the snow inevitably hits us in the face, right? Anyway, tonight we are opening with our new Ask the Artist. I guess we're not opening with it, are we? We will be doing our new Ask the Artist segment again. You guys voted for Rosa, and so that's who we're doing tonight, is Rosa. And yeah, 1 second. I just heard my Discord go ding. What is this? Oh, cool. I didn't need that right this second, though, while I was right in the middle of the...
Yeah, I'm going to put that in the other chat.
Oh, that's alright. Anyway, so tonight we did send Rosa an email asking her your guys' poll questions, and she got it back to us like, I don't know, 10 minutes before the stream was supposed to start, so I haven't even had a chance to read it yet. You guys are going to hear it the same time I see it, which is kind of crazy, but, you know, we'll adapt, we'll adjust, it'll be fine. Anyway, we're going to hit that in just a couple of minutes, because we're already almost to 7:15, and I like to kind of try to start that one up between 7:10 and 7:20. Before we get rolling, I'm going to do quick ads. Our Patreon is still going. This has been a slower month with getting content up there because of having to revamp everything. But all of the previous lore drops are still there. We are going to be adding new and different content soon. So join the Patreon. Join the Discord. As always, we want you guys so much to join us in the Discord and talk over all of this with us. We just would love to have you guys in there. if you're interested in getting a sneak peek of the new shop, head over to shopify.worldsofcasmith.com. Like I said, I'm working really hard on getting it done. I've got 4 shops almost completely ready to go, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on that, hopefully this weekend. And but yeah, I'm super excited to really launch it. And also, we are going to be on Etsy, hopefully this winter. I have thoughts about that, and I have goals for that too. So keep an eye out for us over there. I will, of course, let you guys know as soon as we get there, but keep an eye out. Also, I wanted to make a note of saying, I don't know if anyone's noticed that, again, we've had a couple of people asking questions about our usage of AI, and like, we're not trying to hide the fact that we use AI, clearly, right? But I feel like we are pretty open and honest about how we use AI, where we use AI, and I'm not going to continue responding to those comments. That doesn't mean we don't see them. It doesn't mean we don't read them. We do. We don't generally make a habit of banning comments. In fact, if you find that a comment of yours has been banned, we have kind of like a list of words. And if you accidentally use one of those, it can end up in the banned section, and I don't check it as often as I should. Oops. But really, we don't ban comments unless they are deliberately, like, nasty and mean. We don't ban comments just because they ask us about AI. I'm just going to stop answering them. Now, if you guys have questions about how we utilize it in the work, what Craig's process is for using it, great. We love those. We are all about actually encouraging people to do it. What generative AI, I know a lot of people don't like it, but what it is able to help people accomplish is incredible. Any tool used well and for its purpose is nothing more than a tool. That's our personal philosophy on it, and that is what AI is to us, is a tool. And we are not afraid to use it. But yeah, any more of these, is it AI? Is it AI? I'm not going to bother anymore, right? So just, eh. If you guys want to respond to those, feel free. That's great. We totally and 100% endorse and encourage our followers interacting with each other, and as long as everybody stays polite and kind, go for it. Likewise, if you do have those kinds of questions, join the Discord. It's a great place to come and talk to us about everything, the book writing process, the music process, all of it. You can also hit us up on our socials. Instagram and TikTok are probably the best places for that, but Facebook will also work. But yeah, we're always happy to answer questions about the tools we're using, how we're using them, what our process using them looks like. And if we have enough interest in something like that, we could even do a live stream that's dedicated to those things. And in that same vein, I think I mentioned last time we've got some duets that Craig's been working on. Ashen Alander and Ashen Thingbearer, like genuine duets, not, oh, Suno accidentally hallucinated the Lander's voice in one of Ash's songs. No, like actual, like, focused. The goal is we took 2 voices and then merged them together. Wow. It's taken a lot of time. One of them Craig's been working on for 4 months. It just goes right along with the whole anybody who has an idea that you enter something into generative AI and push enter and it comes out with something perfect the first time has never used it before. But yeah, no, we've got some really, really exciting songs, and one of them I am just so excited for you guys to hear. Goes with one of Ash's new albums, in fact. And while Ash's album is focused on biblical history, this duet between her and Fangbearer actually has a phenomenal parallel to some ancient Sheol'gotha history too, and it's just fantastically good. Anyway, all right, it is 7:20, and I am going to roll into doing Rosa's Ask the Artist. I'm going to turn Ash down just a hair, and then I'm going to do this. Get my live stream stuff back up. There we go. All right, anyway, so I got this from Rosa, like I said, about 10-15 minutes before 7 o'clock, so I'm reading it. Nobody wants a council if I see a rap. Don't be silly. And that would have to be a lander. You don't want to do that to anybody, much less yourself. Anyway, okay. So I am seeing this the same time you guys are seeing it. If I end up just kind of drifting off while I look at it with a confused look on my face, you'll have to forgive me, because just from what I'm seeing right now, Rosa's a little hyper. Okay, so it says, OMG, hi. I cannot believe that people wanted to know about me. I so couldn't believe it that when they told me it was part of my contract to do these kinds of things, I almost started crying. I was so excited. Everybody always wants to hear about Ash. Ash. Ever notice how nobody asks about Ember? And I mean, Ember's pretty cool and definitely doesn't have the same temper. Anyway, questions. So the first one they gave me was all about how I'm a Havesy. Oh, good. Okay. Okay, Ember read through this and says I should explain what a Havesy is. Thank you, Ember, for that. So I'm half Avalbane and half Grigori. And okay, so what do people misunderstand about me the most? So this idea that because I'm half Avalbane and half Grigori, so I must think about sex all the time is just I don't think about it any more than anybody else. Just because everyone is doing it all the time, look at the twins. Wow, she uses a lot. And I grew up in Southern California, and that's a lot of likes. Okay, look at the twins. Everybody knows they're going at it with each other in their heads. Why am I the weird one for saying it out loud? Honestly, even the preacher has it on his mind all the time. He's got a human girlfriend, and you can just tell he's, oh Lord. She's, okay. You can just tell, I don't even think I could say this one out loud. You can just tell he's a huffin' for a humpin'. Thank you for that, Rosa. Ember says I should take that part out. I'm not gonna. That's a shame. Next question. Who's the artist I'd never date and why? So there's this really old guy that likes to sit outside the palace in Enemet, and he's got these gnarly fingers and this long stringy beard, and I would not like to date him. Ember says that's not what you guys meant. It's a shame we didn't ask Ember what Ember thought of things. She says I'm supposed to limit myself to other ESCH-Art artists. So, Elander. Partly because he's dating Ash and in love with Ash and would die for Ash, but also partly because he's just way too big brother. Dude is the sweetest, fluffiest, most totally ripped teddy bear. And I am so not into the sibling vibe. Did you catch what I said about the twins and their weird? Not my kink, thanks. If I had to choose between love and music, I'm locked into a really strict 7-year contract right now, and it would cost me so much money to break that. So unless I'm going to fall in love with somebody super rich, probably music. Oh, and Ember says I shouldn't answer this. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Ember says I should answer this smaller question. Have I ever had my heart broken on tour? No, I'm not big on dating. If I weren't making music, what would I want to do for fun? And then she stutters around here for a second and then says, I like to make cookies. And I like to run. Maybe I'd be a runner. Oh, I'd like to learn to play a bunch of instruments. I love getting my hands on something new, especially wood. There's nothing like the warmth of a hard wooden instrument in your hands. Like the way you can just run your fingers down the grain and get such incredible sounds out of a guitar. Amazing. Lastly, Ember told me all about Ash's thing last time, so I wanted to give my own opinions on everyone else. Ash is terrifying. I get that everyone loves her music and stuff, but holy crap, she's scary. She can be so mean. It's terrifying. She literally reminds me of my mom. In fact, I think she's the same age as my mom. Elander, again, big Teddy. He's a full Avalbane, so he doesn't have many siblings, and I have too many siblings. It's a weird mix, but sometimes I feel like he's the only one here that can even start to get me and understand me. The twins are so weird. Like, first off, they don't even tour normally, and they're like accountants by day and musicians by night. I heard one of the execs one time mentioning something about the club and stuff, so I can see why they'd be too busy for a normal job, because the club is so busy. If you guys ever get a chance to cross the portal and check it out, you totally should. Fangbearer, if that's even his real name, which it totally isn't, he's actually a pretty cool guy. I got to talk to him a little one-on-one during Ascension before everyone rolled out. Like, his ideas are pretty solid and totally rooted in both our history and our people. They just sound threatening. I think that's why the consort leaves him be, and why she maybe even favors him a little. And he's really fond of Prince Aelish, but then, I mean, who isn't? That's a fair question, right? Shifter, Vampire, Grigori, Avalbane. And she wonders why people wonder how she does us both. I can't think of a single person I know who wouldn't strip down and bend over for the prince. Ember says I shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that. Well, I'm going to say it anyway because it's true. Even Ember, and I'm so sure I'd even put money on it, which the twins would find to be a big turn on. God, they are so weird. And lastly, Ember. Ember is amazing. She plays bass, plays guitar, plays piano, like she's a one-man band, except she's a woman and amazing. And her eyes are like this incredible shade of like, they're like a lavender frost almost, and her hair is so blonde it's practically white, and when she gets angry they flash dark for just a second, and she's amazing, and I've never known anyone like her. And oh shoot, she's coming. I have to send this. She didn't read this part because I wrote it last. Okay, thanks. Bye, 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 bye. Okay. Well, that was Rosa's Ask the Artist. It was definitely a lot to think about. Like I said, I definitely can see why there's questions about how she handles both sides of her nature there. Yeah. We're gonna take a quick 5-10 minute break. I'm gonna go get a fresh drink, and yeah, we will be back in just a few minutes, guys. Where is it? There we go.
Crowned in foreign gold, bearing gods you could not name, not the lesser half of marriage, but the fire you could not tame. You called me painted lady, as though paint were only sin, but my eyes are lined for battle, and my mouth is armed to win. I took the land I hungered, fed my altars, fed my own, did the deeds your kings have boasted from their bloodless holy thrones. You call my hand horrific, but if I'd worn a crown of man, you'd have built your psalms upon me and called my slaughter God's own plan. Say stones. I stood in silk and scarlet thread, not for your gaze, but armor for the last words I would shed. Dogs have feasted on my glories long before you came for more, yet they'll choke upon my memory when my bones are at their door.
Okay, there we go. Oh man, I love this song.
Let the window be my throne. Let the pavement take my bones. Throw me down, the earth shall know. It drank the wrath they failed to overthrow. Tear me down, my gods remain. You cannot strip me.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I was going to strip National Anthem. Man, wait till you guys hear Dummy Dummy. That one's going to just blow people away. Dummy Dummy is fantastic. Let's see here. Okay. Well, that gave me a good 5-minute break. Alright, so on to the second half of our live stream, the lore questions section. Tonight, I kind of set my focus to being Prince era stuff, a couple of post-integration sorts of questions, and then Champions Guild questions, kind of building off what we were talking about last time. And of course, this gives Craig the opportunity to like pop into the chat and include his own personal thoughts and opinions about things. So our first question: what was Valon known for before he ever sat on the throne? Nothing. He wasn't known for anything other than being a pain and driving his mother crazy. I mean, least favored son of the least favored consort, right? He was enough of a pain that his dad was constantly annoyed with him, and his mother had already fallen out of favor. So, what? I mean, you can say, you don't have to just like say one or two words. You can say more than that, and then I can read it out loud for the folks at home. Because nobody knows what that means. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know the kids were up. Is she having a rough time? Because we can cut short tonight if we need to. Yeah. He got the nickname the Smiling Sun because the way his father's shifter nature mixed with his mother's genes make him look like he's perpetually smiling. But really, he wasn't known for much. He was known for making enough noise to be a nuisance, and otherwise, there was never any intention for him to go anywhere, do anything, or become anything. How does the prince become more terrifying than his father? You know what? He had a lot of brothers who were infinitely more terrifying than he was. Literally, it was the blessings of the gods and just sheer hard work and a lot of dumb luck. A lot of hard work. A lot of ending up with other disenfranchised sons and daughters. A lot of having the charisma to carry people along with the idea that maybe he could do it, and it was worth it if they failed. You have to sort of understand, right, the whole environment that he came out of. His father had 3 consorts. Only one was actually liked. The other 2 were conquests. And the court was brutal all the time. So yeah, no, it's I'm sorry, tonight I'm a little off. It's like one of those weekends where everything's just kind of a little off, you know. All right, we're going to shift gears. We're going to go talk about the second set of questions, post-integration questions about our artists. So why does ESCH-Art force artists to share housing on tour? Because it's cheap. And because ESCH-Art is owned by vampires, and because if each of the different races of Sheol'gotha embodied a different vice, right? And the vices predominantly are lust for money, lust for power, and lust for sex. Then vampires are the lust of money. Shifters are the lust of power. No, there's 3 things that motivate people, right? The lust for power, the lust of money, and sex. Sex, money, and power, right? So those are the 3 driving motivators behind everything that people do. Vampires will do anything they can to get money. Grigori will do anything they can to get sex, and shifters will do anything they can to take power or have power over people. So why do they force their artists to share housing? Because they own the housing, because the housing is cheap, and because, trust me, I don't know how many people have seen, like, Arrested Development. Hopefully a lot of people have seen Arrested Development. But there's a bit in there about how George Sr. At one point in time monetizes boy fights between the boys. It's the same sort of thing. Don't for one second think there aren't cameras all over the place in all the common areas catching conflicts and broadcasting them. Absolutely, because any way in which they can make money off their artists, they are going to do it. And what happens when you throw Sheol'gothans and Abilbane and sometimes humans together under one roof? Crazy. Like, even just looking at the... Hang on, I have to count, because I am not one of the twins. It's okay, it's just 7 people, right? And understand, they each have their own, like, apartment. So it's not like they're stuck sharing one room together, but they are stuck in an apartment building, and they have to go into their common areas together, and they have to share the studio and all of these things. Even with just 7 people, across the different aspects of their cultures, there's constant potential for conflict. And if not conflict, there's just personality conflicts and personality interactions. Ash is a really strong personality. You put her up against anybody else that has an equally strong personality, like Fangbearer, there's going to be explosions. Then you add in just the cultural history of Grigori and shifters, who traditionally don't like each other very much. You're going to have explosions. You're going to have an idiot like a lander white knighting his way over to get between the 2 of them. And there's a lot of potential for a lot of really fun dynamics, and frankly, a lot of potential for vampires to make money, which is what vampires care about, and so that's why they do it. Have Craig and I, like, really truly gotten deep into exploring those dynamics? No, not yet. We've kind of touched on a few little things. We know that Fangbearer does not tour very often. He has a job. His job is street preaching in Sheol'gotha. He travels the realm. He does sermons about Aranicus, and that's important. it takes precedent over being a musician. The consort herself has in fact said, leave him alone. When he's able to tour, he'll let you know. When he's not able to tour, you're going to leave him alone. I don't care. If you have a problem with it, tough. There's only one person with more authority than me, and it's not you. The twins also do not tour very often. There are some family dynamics with their family that prevent them from very often being able to tour on Earth. And their style of music is not really something that would be popular in the realm the Adelbane are from, so they don't go over there. They're predominantly performing in Sheol'gotha, and that's where they're staying. They're very happy with that, whatever. But Ash, Ember, Rosa, Alander, they get thrown together, all four of them, all the time. They get thrown into Earth, sent on tours. And Rosa finds it a little bit hard. She's really young. Really, really young by comparison to the others. She's a quarter of Ash's age. She's an eighth of Alander's age. Ember's somewhere in between the two of them, and, you know, that makes her anywhere between a quarter and a sixth or an eighth of Ember's age. It's not easy to deal with that, and she finds Ash terrifying, as she mentioned in her email. But you do what you have to do. Her contract says this is what she has to do, so this is what she does. How does that pressure cooker change the music and the relationships? I mean, I think if anything, it actually probably makes recording sessions a little rough. I don't know if anybody else has ever had to do performance, but you've got to be in the right mood to do a good job. Otherwise, everything's either flat or dead. And I think that's probably their biggest problem, is if there's conflicts, Alander is sad, and that drags everybody down. If there's conflict, Ash is in a bad mood, and that puts everybody on edge. If everybody is on edge, nobody wants to do anything. They don't even want to be in the same room together. It makes it really, really hard to perform as musicians when nobody wants to be in the same room together. It makes collaborative music more difficult. Does it help write songs? Probably. Especially for Alander. Half of his music is all sad songs written about Ash being mad at him. Yeah. Craig actually said to me the other day, I don't even know what to write. So sometimes with Rosa, and I'm like, okay, imagine a teenage girl raised in an authoritarian household who thinks she might be into spanking, and then write songs about that. That's what she's gonna be singing about. That's very much her dynamic. But it makes being in a space with other people that are so intense personality-wise a real challenge. Alright, last section tonight. Then we're probably done. Champions Guild. How do contracts work inside the guild? So the process of requesting assistance from the guild is very, very simply laid out, and it's fairly straightforward. You send in your request, the guild receives it and sorts it based on how your request is sealed. They have a priority system, because they do have to make money. They would love to be able to dedicate all their time and energy to helping the, poor and downtrodden of all of the realms, but in the end, they still have to make money. So they kind of shuffle things around a little bit so that they can make sure they help some of the poor and downtrodden while at the same time making money. Contracts come in, they're sorted, then they're looked through. If it's needed to, it's given to Lord McAllister to look over. He then makes determinations, writes contracts. Discussions happen over fees, payments, expectations, all of those kinds of things are negotiated. Contract is signed, at which point the guild asks for a surety deposit. This surety deposit is there to make sure that you've got the insurance money to cover it, just in case solving your problem is a little more complicated than anyone thought it would be. This goes back to what we were talking last time about how most people, when they write fantasy books, they don't really get into the whole, and our adventuring guild has an insurance contract, or an insurance clause in their contract that says we're not responsible if we accidentally burn your village down. The Silvercrest Champions Guild openly talks about those clauses because they don't want anyone to be surprised when they are asked to deposit 10,000 gold to ensure that any loss of personal property, loss of time, loss of limbs, loss of life, any of that is covered ahead of time before they send their champion out there to do any work. This was an interesting question that popped up today while I was looking at stuff, was, do protégés ever get assignments they're not ready for? And if he's still holding both of the kids, that's a really hard one for him to answer. I'm going to give it like 30 seconds. Or so. Like, I'm going to sit here and like mentally sing the Jeopardy song or the countdown song or something. I don't know. Let Fangbearer talk. Beast hunts the prey. Not generally. More protégés than champions anyway. So they don't get assignments they're not ready for? Or they don't, like, I guess, like, the focus of the question is, are they ever given an assignment that it's generally assumed they're not going to be able to complete simply because there wasn't a champion to send? I would think no, simply because, okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. I was going to say Leonard wouldn't be interested in loss of life for the sake of loss of life. Yeah, that's that too. Oh, man. So Craig says, no, a protégé is never going to be sent off on something where they are assumed to fail at it. They might be sent off on something that will challenge them. They might be sent off on things that will stretch their limits. But ultimately, it costs them money to invest in training someone only to have them die or lose a limb or fail or any of that. If they fail to complete a contract, the guild doesn't get any money. And so then they've lost everything that they've put into that contract. And Leonard's just not going to do that. Like, the guild is still small enough. They can't afford that kind of waste. How often do contracts fail, I guess, is probably the next question on that. I would say also probably not very often there. I think more often than not, especially with large contracts, it's an err on the side of caution sort of thing where a champion and possibly a champion and protégé are sent that are more than capable of doing the task, because high profile contracts need to be completed and completed successfully. Like, you can't have a business where you're taking on contracts and then turn around and fail at those contracts all the time. You'll never survive. Leonard wants the guild to survive, so they're going to make sure that their high profile, high paying contracts are always successfully completed. What happens if somebody fails a contract besides the fact that they will lose money on that, though? Like, what happens on the guild end with stuff like that? We sit here and wait. Rise. I've gotten to where I listen to our own music so much that reprimands, discipline, various things that might eventually lead to them being retired. I mean, how often are protégés retired as opposed to just more vigorously trained and then sent out for Dacius to run through the forest 500 times? Okay, the guild doesn't tend to part ways unless someone is dangerously inept. That's, yeah. Now, interesting question. How often do people who are retired from the guild find their way into the Undercity of Silvercrest? And how often do they suddenly find themselves succeeding where before they were failing? And then, of course, how much of that is them being propped up as opposed to actually genuinely suddenly developing talent and skill? Oh no, the music has paused. Oh no, the music has paused. Oh no. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Oh, Babylon. Okay.
Ran Shoti Arut Sharu Usheni Shalmut Adam.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I hadn't realized that. Is that just because Jack knows if somebody couldn't cut it under Leonard, they can't cut it under him either, and so he's not going to waste the time and resources?
I am Babylon.
I think that's probably one of the most fascinating things about Jack and Leonard's relationship.
I was revelation, the truth written scarlet law. I wore your oaths like ephod threads and burned your priests in awe. I crowned the damned with oil and iron and sin. I broke their faith between my lips and wore their gods upon my skin. You etched your laws in gold. I melted them down for rings. You named me harlot, I answered queen, and made your wretched into kings. I rode your empire into the dirt. One horn for every hour. They came 10 deep with crowns of
Yeah, I just turned it all the way down.
and broke beneath my power. 7 sins, I wear them like rings. Lust in my hips where worship begins. Gluttony slick on a tongue that sings. Sloth in your knees when my shadow clings. Greed in the breath that hitches and stings. Wrath in my grip like the pull of strings. Envy in eyes that mirror my sins. Pride in my throat, my crown, my hymn. The 8th, I fed it to the beast and made it mine.
Because that is it turned completely
I
off.
am the city, the womb, the flame, not shame but sword. I came to reign. You built me an altar, then deified my name. You bowed to the beast, but I broke its chain. I was the city, drunk with saints, the blood that stained your sword. You lit the fires in holy rites. I came and broke your faithless horde.
Okay.
I am Babylon reborn.
Anyway, okay, sorry, back to Jack and Leonard.
You carved your shame in sacred
Man, more of you guys need to
scrolls
go
and drowned your name in my abyss. You built your towers in gold.
Oh, Discord's catching. Discord's catching it. How about now? I bet it's off now. Bet it's off now. Yep. It was being picked up by the Discord thing. That's stupid. Okay, well, I can turn it back on then in OBS, and it should pick up in OBS. There we go. How's that? Can we hear it, but not be blasted to death by it? Okay. You can't run me through your headphones in Discord so you can hear what I'm saying. Okay. Well, you know what? We've gone almost an hour. And since I am learning that my 2-year-old loses her mind when she can see me on her daddy's computer, but she can't come talk to me and cuddle with me, I am probably going to call tonight. But, yeah, no, that's fine. But I actually think the conversation about Jack and Leonard might be, well, hang on now, let me look at my dates. Because we do these every 2 weeks, and we will be in October next month. In October, we are switching over to mostly TOS and very, very little Silvercrest. So, yeah, we will have to maybe save a conversation about Jack and Leonard for a later date. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good night tonight. Definitely keep an eye out for, like I've been saying, new marketplace, new websites. Join the Discord. Come hang out with us in Discord. Get excited. We have Christmas music that's going to be dropping as we get closer to the Christmas season. We've got those duets that are going to be coming out. There will be more Patreon and YouTube member YouTube member content coming out, and the new websites will be coming out. So yeah, I see that while I'm looking at my calendar that I have like 10 days left till the end of the month, so I better get cracking. I hope you guys have a great night, and thank you guys for supporting us. Oh, and I have not forgotten that we promised you guys something when we hit 5,000 followers or subscribers. With everything going on, I still haven't had a chance to work on it. It is in fact coming, but I beg a little more patience. As soon as I can get to it, I will. And in the meantime, at the rate we're going, we might hit 10,000 subs before we get there. At which point you guys will get 2 gifts. So, anyway, you guys have a great night. And, yeah, we will see you guys in 2 weeks.